and welcome. Today I'm going to be going through the 4 most common ways to adopt an infant in the United States. You'll have to forgive my drawings as my friend, who is very artistic, is under quarantine like the rest of us and unable to help out with this video today. I'm going to be going through embryo adoption, infant adoption, foster to adopt, as well as international adoption. Please note, I am not an adoption professional, just an adoptive mama with a passion for research. Please consult your local social worker or adoption agency for the latest, most up-to-date news. Let's start off with one of the most common ways to adopt an infant, and that is newborn adoption. About 18,000 newborn adoptions were completed back in 2014. The average cost of an infant adoption through an adoption agency is $43,000, and it takes around 2 years, usually a little less, to get matched and finalize your adoption. With U.S. infant adoption, there is no set age restriction since it is the birth mother's choice who she places her child with. So what does this process look like? First, you're going to start by contacting an agency or attorney, and there's pros and cons to each, which I will not get into in this video. Then you would complete your home study and your profile book. A home study allows you to prove to the courts that you have a fit home for a child to go to, and your profile book helps convey the essence of your family to a potential birth mama. After those things are done and submitted to your agency or attorney, you wait to be chosen and matched with a potential birth mother. And then you wait for the baby to be born after you get matched. Of course, this is a little bit different if you are matched with a mama who has already given birth, but usually you wait, you get matched, and then you wait a little bit more. You have to wait 12 hours to up to a whole week, depending on the state, for a potential birth mother and potential birth father to relinquish their rights. After that, the baby goes home, usually from the hospital, with its adoptive parents, and a few weeks later or a few months later, the adoption is finalized. The main concern with this is disruptions happen. Around 20 or 25% of potential birth families choose to parent once the child is born or before they're born, meaning that you have to open up your heart knowing that it is the potential birth family's right to choose to parent. Disruptions happen, and you need to know that going into it. The benefits of U.S. infant adoption, though, are that you get to raise the child essentially from birth. If you're interested in learning more about infant adoption, you can check out the playlist that I've linked below. And if you want to follow along on our own personal journey to adopt our beautiful daughter, you can check out the other videos on my channel. Moving right along to international adoption. There are dozens of countries that allow U.S. citizens to adopt children from their country, but there are only a handful that allow infants to be adopted out. This is because healthy newborn babies are reserved first and foremost for the citizens of that country, and only children that are older, have special needs or special concerns get adopted out to U.S. or any foreign entities usually. For the most up-to-date list of countries that do allow for newborn adoption, you should check out the link below. But for now, I'm going to be using generalized statistics from a sampling of those countries that do allow children under the age of 1 to be adopted by U.S. citizens. International adoption has a similar price tag to infant adoption in the United States, costing $25,000 to $45,000. Depending on the country, there'll be restrictions on the age of parents, both minimums, maximums, and an acceptable range in relation to the age of the child you wish to adopt. Marital status is another big factor when looking at international adoption, as most countries want heterosexual married couples, with some countries going so far as saying you need to be married for a certain number of years. Race can be another factor, with certain countries favoring those who have a similar racial lineage to that of the child they are adopting. Some countries have limits on the number of children a family can already have, as well as the ages of those children in relation to the child they wish to adopt. Income can be another factor beyond just the normal stipulation of needing to have a large enough income to sustain another child. Now, what does the process look like? First, you need to pick a country or countries that you are looking to adopt from and find an agency that is accredited to service those countries. Now, again, I'm being vague here because the list of countries that you can adopt from changes regularly, with inter-country adoptions opening and closing depending on the political climate as well as the stability of the country you're adopting from. After that, you need to determine whether or not a child with special needs is something that your family can responsibly take care of, as that does change the children that you have access to as well as the timeline drastically. After that, your agency will help you prep a dossier to send to the country that you wish to adopt from. After that point, you wait, get approved, eventually get matched, and some countries require that you travel to that country to meet the child and live in their culture for a certain amount of time and then return to the United States, while others have you skip directly to the time where you travel to their country to meet and pick up your child. After that, you return to the United States to finalize the adoption. Now, concerns with this are that you will have limited info about the child that you choose to adopt, and not all children have information readily available, and sometimes information does get lost or mistranslated once it gets delivered to the United States. Another concern is what I alluded to earlier, that depending on the political climate, adoptions can get closed down based on current events. And of course, I didn't touch on this on the US infant adoption, but it holds just as true. If you choose to adopt a child that is not racially the same as your family, then you need to take on the responsibility of honoring their culture, as well as educating yourself on the challenges that come with being an interracial family in the United States. And I want to re-emphasize that there are thousands of children that are above the age of 1 that need to be adopted internationally, but this video is only touching on infant adoptions. Coming back to the United States, let's touch on foster to adopt. Now, unlike the first two options, foster to adopt is a relatively cheap option, with most families having zero out-of-pocket expenses once the adoption is finalized and you receive your tax credit. To become a foster parent, there's no age, marital status, income boundary, gender, or sexual orientation limitations. You simply have to complete a foster home study, which is more in-depth than a home study for normal infant adoption, and you have to go through foster care training. The first thing you have to do to become a foster parent is contact a state foster care agency. Go through their required training and the home study process, and then wait for a placement. At that point, then your job is to love and heal and nurture that child and assist in any way you can for reunification. And then you wait. If the birth family is able to make the needed changes, then that child will be placed back into their care, and you will wait for another placement. Now, if that family is unable or unwilling to make the changes necessary to provide a safe home for that child, they will be allowed to be adopted out. Direct family members of the birth family will be contacted first, and then the foster parent will have the opportunity to adopt the child before that child is made publicly adoptable. Some concerns that you should be made aware of before pursuing foster to adopt is that reunification is always the #1 goal. A foster parent's primary role is to provide a safe, healthy, and loving home for a child while the birth family makes the needed changes. And if you cannot handle the emotional distress of having a child enter and leave your home, then foster to adopt may not be the route for you. All children entering the foster care system have experienced some trauma, even newborns, either because of the home environment or physical trauma, and foster parents have to be ready to deal with that and help heal. As stated previously, you may be required to take on the responsibilities of being an interracial family if you choose to adopt from foster care. That being said, foster care is a wonderful way to give back to your community and provide a home for a child who needs it, and maybe lead to your family growing. Now, embryo adoption is a little bit different than anything we've talked about before, because technically it isn't even an adoption, it's a donation. So let's talk about where embryos come from as a little bit of science overview so you understand what's going on. Embryos are the byproduct of IVF, in vitro fertilization, which is a fertility treatment. Typically, a couple creates embryos, or maybe uses donor eggs or donor sperm to create embryos that are then theirs. And they use them during an IVF cycle and transfer them one or two at a time back into either the intended birth mother or a gestational surrogate. Now, once that family has grown and had all the babies they need, they may have embryos left over, and at this point they can either choose to donate them to science, destroy them, or put them up for adoption. Now, because technically by law these are not considered children, they're considered property, the adoption process is a little bit different. But let's jump into the facts. Embryo adoption or donation costs around $3,000 to $15,000 because IVF cycle transfers usually cost around $3,000, and it may take multiple attempts for an embryo to stick and result in a viable pregnancy. Depending on your clinic and the quality of the embryos, embryo transfers work 40 to 60% of the time, but the process is actually fairly quick compared to other things, considering you have a 9-month pregnancy in the middle. Now, the restrictions on embryo adoption are pretty open. The only thing that really matters is that the woman who's going to be carrying the child is of a fertile age and doesn't have any pre-existing medical conditions that would prevent an IVF transfer from being successful. Similar to how some infant adoption agencies are religiously based and have religious restrictions, some embryo banks also practice religious restrictions when choosing what families can adopt out embryos. But that's the first step, is choosing an embryo bank. Then usually you need to go through the tests required to make sure that an IVF transfer would be successful to the best of your knowledge, and then you create a profile. You're then matched with a couple that has placed their embryos online for adoption and complete the necessary legal documentations. This is one of the pros of this process, is at that point those embryos belong to the adoptive family and there cannot be any disruptions past this point. Embryos are then shipped to the clinic that you plan to have the transfer done at, or you can work with the clinic they are currently stored at to go there for the transfer, depending on which is more appealing as well as which is more financially feasible. At that point, you undergo the same process as anyone would for an IVF transfer, then age-old 2-week wait and pregnancy test to see if the embryo took. The pros of this, of course, are that you get to experience pregnancy and birth, as well as have complete control over what happens during the pregnancy, which is something that's absent from all other types of adoption we've talked about. But some people would see pregnancy as a downside, so I've put it here on the concerns list. You also will have a limited number of embryos. At some point you may run out of embryos but wish to keep having children and have to go back to a different form of adoption or embryo adoption again with siblings that aren't biologically related. And finally, IVF is no joke, even just the transfer portion, and some people do not want to go through the physical stress of using IVF medications. That has been a whirlwind overview of the 4 types of adoption that are available to add an infant to your family in 2020. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, please refer to the playlist down below in the description or leave a comment. I am more than happy to answer questions. And thank you so much for following along on this journey. Until next time, ladies, keep on fighting.